they're in control. Creators can bring their creativity on chain and make sure that they're the ones benefiting. Everyone everywhere gets the same access, no matter where you're born, no matter where you live. This is the future of the internet. This is on chain.
Okay, we're live. Greetings,
Alright.
everyone.
How's everyone doing? Hope you
Very well, thank you very much. How are you doing?
Good. I know that
Hey guys, hey everyone.
Hey everybody. I know that Misha is on the road. We're gonna be discussing the hackathon that the stuff that we're going to be doing with Geekulca over the next couple of weeks. We should move straight into it, but before we do, I will play a disclaimer and then we will introduce ourselves and then we'll take it from there.
Today's conversation is for information and educational purposes only. It does not constitute financial, technical, or legal advice. The views expressed are our own and do not represent Base, Coinbase, or any affiliated platforms.
All right. With that out of the way, let's get to business. Hey, Google. Hey, Lloyd. How you guys doing?
Hey Derek, I'm doing great. Hey Google.
I think you're muted, Google. Hey, Google, can you hear us? I can't hear him. Lloyd, can you hear Google?
I can.
Oh,
No, I
yep,
can't.
can
I
hear
think
you
his
now.
mic is muted.
Lovely.
Yeah, sorry guys, sound was slightly delayed. I was talking to myself.
That's fine. How you doing, man?
Doing very well, thanks. We've got Base on the call today, and we've got Geekulca, and we're going to be talking about the Base by Geekulca Hackathon 2025, where Base is sponsoring portion of the Geekulca Hackathon. And it's going to be a series of events. I think we're probably going to do 5 events with Geekulca. And we're excited about this. So maybe we can introduce Misho from Geekulca. Misho, can you hear us? Maybe you can say hello to everybody.
Awesome stuff. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so Misho here from Geekulca. Definitely looking forward to this session, but also looking forward to, engaging on the hackathon and a couple of things that we'll be working on as a build up to the hackathon, but also as post hackathon as well, because, it is all about the journey.
I say, it's good to have you, Michelle. Thank you so much for taking off the time. And I do believe that you're really busy given all the coordination that you're doing. I believe you've just arrived in a new city. What city are you in right now?
We just arrived in Free State, Buchabelo. There's some business breakfast as part of the Telkom Future Makers happening tomorrow. And over the weekend, there's the hackathon. So, yeah, we just got here. And looking forward to it.
You're setting up, I imagine. What's the climate like? Are people excited for the hackathon that's coming up this weekend?
Yeah, it's we haven't fully engaged with people on the ground, but the people that are excited with this, we're actually running in parallel with Mpumalanga as well. So there's another team that's hosting it in Mpumalanga. So yeah, it's been an interesting build up to this. But yeah, it's been tiring as well.
How many people do you anticipate will be showing up for this one?
So with this one, we're expecting around 40 or so to come through. I think with the Mpumalanga one, there's slightly over 40 that are attending that particular one.
Yeah, that's a good number. What's it been like over the last couple of weeks? If you could just tell us, I mean, I do know that what you're doing at Geekulca, at least for this particular hackathon, is themed around finish what you started. But I'm keen to learn more about like what have you been doing over the last couple of weeks as you build up toward the final grand hackathon sometime later in September.
Yeah, so this one is a Telcom 10x hackathon. This is part of Telcom Future Makers celebrating 10 years of impact around innovation and supporting SMEs and ICT SMEs. So its major theme is focusing on customer experience. How do you enhance customer experiences? So it's been quite interesting journey. We've done 5 so far. This weekend we're doing an extra 2, and we're just getting closer to the final 10. But this becomes a roadmap also to the Geekulca Hackathon, where the winning team from each location, each of the 10 locations, gets what we call a golden ticket, and they get to attend the annual hackathon. Currently, there's 90 teams that have been selected for the annual hackathon. So we're anticipating at least around about 200 young developers from across the country coming through to Centurion for their annual hackathon.
Oh, interesting. I assume there's just been lots of young people who've been excited about what you guys have been doing. And for us here at Base, we just want to make sure that we get them to learn more about the decentralized side of things, what opportunities are available on Base, and how they can build or be part of this on-chain future that we are creating. Moving on, in terms of in regard to Geekulca, like could you tell me just a little bit about like how you decided to start Geekulca and what prompted you to actually start doing this in the first place?
Yeah, so Geekulca started a good 13 years back, while we're still in university. And this was because of a particular gap where we saw that university students don't really have access to what's happening in the industry, So we got the opportunity to, gain access to, to industries, players, events, and all those things, right? But it was like we getting all this access, but the rest of our friends and classmates are not getting access to that. So it started as a Facebook called Innovators at IT, and its aim was really to share Microsoft related content. For TUT, Tshwane University of Technology. Then it obviously started expanding to other institutions. The content also started expanding. More in-person things started happening. More young people started attending more events, gaining access to more events. So it just started expanding from that. So over the years, we've just started building a pipeline of different things from trainings, workshops, student ambassadors, student chapters, as a way of just really strengthening the South African tech ecosystem.
Interesting. I'll assume you cover the all number of universities there in South Africa at this point, right?
Yeah, so we've got quite access to a few of them, and this is done mainly also through our Geekulca student societies, which give us access to the different institutions across the country.
I see. Do you know the number of universities you cover at this particular point in time, or?
So yeah, there is a particular number, but not all of them are active. So we've got over the years we've had over 30 of them, and this is not just your traditional universities. It's your universities of technology. It's your TVET colleges as well. So it's a mixture of your traditional universities, but also the TVET colleges as well.
I see. Let's move more to the hackathon that's coming up later this year, this month. The dates are 22nd, right? 22nd to 23rd, is that correct?
26th to the 28th of September.
Okay. The theme is finish what you started. Why did you go with that theme this particular year?
Over the years we come across we organize this hackathon. So it's been running for some few years. We organize quite a number of hackathons. We've done 200 of those plus. And one of the consistent questions is, what happens to the products, what happens after the hackathon, and you find that some of the guys come to hackathon, they build what they build, but the next hackathon they're building something new. So this is just a challenge. You say, look, don't come and build something new. Finish what you
Mhm.
started. You might have done it in a particular hackathon. You might have done
Mhm.
it last year at our annual hackathon, but over the period, just improve on it so that when you come to the hackathon, you're not starting from scratch. You just continue with what you've built and you're finishing what you started. So we're glad that from a base side as well, there's potential support beyond the hackathon, and that's what we're trying to drive to say, yes, let these guys build for the hackathon, let them come up with the solutions, but also what is beyond, what type of support will potentially be there beyond the hackathon.
At base, we support builders, and that's something that we've been doing for a really long time. Just most recently, we ran best batches, and it was good to see the amount of traction we got from Africa. A lots of people applying for this particular program. We actually managed to, I think, about 5 or 6 African teams were among the participants, and this was global actually. 5 or 6 teams were among the participants who won. Each of them took home about 20K USD, and some of them were
Nice.
actually just building their very first products. And so at base, we do believe in builders. We want to make sure that we empower them with the tooling, the community or resources that they need to be able to succeed. And to your point, it's not enough in Africa. Like, it's not enough for people to simply just build and then move on to build something else. No, we want to sit
Sure,
with
sure,
that.
sure.
Okay, these products that are built actually become businesses, and then maybe tomorrow you're hiring, or tomorrow you're raising, and you're growing, expanding, and getting way much more people to actually use your product. So that ideally resonates with what we're doing at base, and we happy to actually be a part of this.
Yeah, no, it's quite important. It's quite important to, especially when you come across supporting the African dev ecosystem, that it's not just about supporting them at the beginning, but going through the journey with them, because we need more localized products, and to actually achieve that, the devs need that support. So great work from you guys.
We're going to jump into the tooling in a little bit, but in terms of the categories, or in terms of the categories that you have seen, in terms of the people who have applied, what do you think we're going to be able to see come up over and over again? Is it going to be like financial apps? Is it going to be like maybe AI related applications, or is it going to be applications built in the health sector? In terms of those that have applied so far, like what theme are you seeing cut across the participants?
So that's the nice thing about it being an open challenge, but slightly controlled, is we are seeing a variety of things. Yes, we definitely seeing people trying to address GBV related solutions. We're seeing people playing in the AI space. We are seeing a bit of fintech solutions here and there. So it will be actually quite exciting to see, and knowing South African dev ecosystem, most of them will probably go the approach of solving local relevant problems. We also are waiting to see what the guys from Kenya will be coming up with, because we're partnering with the organization in Kenya, Lolwe, and there'll be other developers and hackers from that side taking part. So we're still also looking forward to seeing what they come up with from that end side.
Yeah, on the blockchain side, we're also excited to see like what products are actually built on the blockchain. We'll talk a little bit more about the rewards, but what we want to be able to see is for people to understand that you can be able to set up a product and be able to, let's say, accept payments from anyone all over the continent using crypto, for example. We want to talk about like I think I've interacted with a lady who's trying to do something to do with procurement at UJ. Like, how do we streamline this procurement process? There's a lot of corruption. We want more transparency. Can we use the blockchain to actually solve some of those problems? So I'm keen to see like some of those come out from this particular hackathon. At base, we definitely want to support all these projects. Like, we want to try to make sure that if someone is seriously building, they get all the support that they need to make sure that they are successful at the end of the day. Before we again move into the tooling bit, just let's talk a little bit more about the rewards. What rewards should people expect as they come into the hackathon?
You will get no sleep, so that's definitely top priority reward. But you also get food as well. So we
Okay.
definitely be taking care of everybody. But yeah, there's definitely cash prizes up for grabs. There will be some companies that will be, scouting for talent as well. So that's something that's worth looking for. There will be a prize for first, second, and third, obviously within the hackathon. But for those that are also building on base, there are specific prices for those particular solutions that integrate and are built within base. So yeah, exciting times, exciting prices as well. But also there's a great opportunity from a networking side with other developers across the country.
Yeah, that's good. We're putting aside at least 50,000 rand to be able to give away for this particular hackathon. But in addition to that, the developer support, that's something that I'm most interested in, like having to handhold someone to make sure that at the end of the day, whatever it is that they're building comes to fruition. We want to be able to see like more companies like Yellow Card spring out of this. We want to be able to see like more companies like Luno, Vala, Ovex spring out of this. So if you're in South Africa, if you're in Kenya, it's not too late. Just join in, come, let's build, and who knows, you may be lucky to actually succeed. We're going to move into tooling now. I have Google and Lloyd who are going to take us through that session. We're going to showcase the various tools that we have at base that you can be able to use to actually build your product. Like Mixo mentioned, it's finished what you started. So you probably already have a financial app. You're trying to figure out, okay, how do I like add a bit of Web3 to it? How do I build on base using this? How do I add base to this particular application? We're going to be able to show you what tools you'll be able to need. And even as we come into like the offline sessions, we'll be going all over several cities, showcasing or working with builders. We'll be reiterating these tools such that people are well informed on what they need to be able to build to succeed. With that said, I'll give it up to you, Google, to take it over from here.
Thank you very much, Derek, and thank you, Michelle, for the intro and very insightful. I'm just quickly going to share my screen and just sort of go through the tools, yeah? Okay. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so it'll be quite interesting. Michelle, let's have this conversation back and forth while I'm sharing this, right? So we're currently not aware what systems a lot of people are going to be using, but I think from our last conversation, you said a lot of people might be using Windows, right? But there could be a chance that if you're students, some of them are using Linux. But if they're using Windows, then it's a little easier. So if they've already got existing projects, right? We could take the existing project and integrate it with like the base kit, basically, right? And they could then leverage that kit to make it into like a mini app that can run on a mobile phone within an app store. So what we do is we try and get them to use an AI developer assistant, right? So they could use Tray. So if they're using Linux, they could use VS Code, and there's a plugin for Tray in Linux. But if they're using a Mac or a Windows device, they can download Tray at tray.ai, trae.ai, and they can just set up an account, and on the day we'll be able to use that. So I'm hoping that they would have their code either on GitLab or on GitHub, or even in their local. Even if they have it like as a folder, we'll be able to import it into this developer assistant, and then install all the dependencies online and the templates. And I think within a couple of an hour or two, they'll be able to integrate all these basic tools. The most important tools to have to build a mini app on base is, of course, a developer assistant makes it faster, right? An AI developer assistant like Trey will be able to show the guys on the day how that works. But if they're using Windows, then I'm sure they already have like Node.js and Visual Studio tools. And then they would need to register online for a Coinbase developer platform. So I'll share this document with you guys at Geekulca. It's got all the links where they can click and actually go there. And another important thing is something called Farcaster. Farcaster is similar to Twitter. So they'll need a Farcaster account.
What?
Farcaster.
So
Okay,
it's
I think someone is talking in the background. You are not muted. Just are you trying to speak here, or is there something in the background, guys? Should I continue? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
please.
All right. Yeah. So they'll need to. So the only thing that could be foreign to a lot of the guys that are developing, right, is just the developer account tools. Coinbase developer platform, you only register for that to get an API key. There's not much else you use it for, just an API key. And then Farcaster is kind of like, it's similar to Twitter. It's a social platform that also works as an app store, basically. Okay. So it's the blockchain version of Twitter. Okay. So it allows them to access an existing audience. So that's where the distribution of apps comes from, right? Because a lot of developers, you develop an app, but then how do you get users? So on Farcaster's app, you like get users from day one, but obviously you have to post about it and market about it. But users will find your app within the same social platform. So you can tweet about it, you can share it there. So that's the advantage of building on base, right? And then Vessel or Vessel, some of these guys building would already have Vessel to deploy, but some might have a different system. We recommend Vessel because it's easier and it works pretty well with all of the tools that we use, the blockchain tools, right? They don't need, for this hackathon, I don't think people will need any databases, but Superbase and MongoDB, but any Postgres, would really work. But the easier ones I've found are Superbase and MongoDB. Mongo probably easier. So Redis, they shouldn't worry about this. The Etherscan API for this, they don't worry about that. VO.app is Vessel's AI developer. So they could use that. It's an online app. So if someone doesn't want to install like an IDE like Tray, because they're already running something else, or VS Code or something else, they could use VO.app and be able to build a basic app. The only challenge you'll run into with VO.app is the backend when you start trying to integrate, with your database and stuff like that. So that's why we recommend a developer assistant like Trey, because it comes in a box with Claude Code, which is an AI agent, which is very good for coding. And then the only other thing I think you'll need is the MetaMask. Okay, base account, not necessarily for the sake of this hackathon, but MetaMask will be fine and Farcaster will be fine for the sake of the hackathon, right? And then the only other thing they need to do is when they installed their Tray, for example, or the Tray plugin, if they're using Linux, there is in the settings I'll show you just now, a set of rules that you need to copy and paste. So we'll share this and they'll copy these rules and they'll select here in the red which system they are using. So they need to change that to their preferred system. And they can set the system rules in the AI developer. So these rules guide how an AI developer is going to behave. So it deals with fixing errors and all that kind of stuff, right? And how it can give you the best outcome. So with that said, let me just quickly show you what Tray looks like, right? So if the guys are using Tray or VS Code, it's going to look something like this, right? Okay. The only difference from VS Code, so Tray is built on VS Code. So anyone who's ever used VS Code or something similar, you'll find this is quite familiar to you. The only difference that you have is on the right-hand side here, you have the AI that you chat with, right? And as you can see here, you've got different AI models, okay, and different LLMs. So we recommend Claude 4 because it's very good, but some people would want to use GPT-5 or something else, but would recommend Claude. So you can change that over there. And the rest is just prompting. So for example, I could say, show me a preview, show me preview of app. And then the AI will do a lot of things, right? So when you code with an AI, you're basically prompting, you're typing in natural language, right? So you can import your GitHub code, you can upload it from your, if you have it on your local, in a folder, you can upload it and you start working. So the AI figures a lot of things. It will run all the commands. Like you see, I just asked it, show me a preview. And what it did, it just ran all these commands. So change directory, and then it ran, did the run dev, and it's going to show me a preview just now, right? So it chooses natural language. So this kind of building using AI and using Base in terms of the blockchain and the tools that Base provides, you can literally build an app in maybe 3 lines of code and maybe about 4 or 5 prompts. Okay, so this is the app that I have. I built this app previously, by the way, so don't think I built it with that prompt. I built it already, but I wanted it to show me in the preview. So by asking it to show me, it was able to run the necessary commands. So yeah, so that's what happens in a nutshell. So this is what we'll be bringing to the guys, hoping that it's also going to make their development faster and easier. So it's pretty simple. It's just learning to trust the AI. And then in terms of, I did say about the rules. So if you click on the top right-hand corner in the settings, right? If someone is using Linux and they've got a plugin, this screen here on the right is going to appear somewhere here. So the layout is going to be on the left if you're using Linux and you're using a Tray plugin. But basically, when you start, you create the rules. You click the settings icon, you click on rules, and you'll see you can create your rules. Okay, so those are the rules I showed you earlier. So you can just create the rules file, copy and paste them in there, change, like what system you are using in this last line. So if you're using Windows, you say my system Windows. If it's Mac, my system is Mac. And then you save Control S or CMDS, I think, for Mac, right? And after that, it's just about prompting the AI in the chat to build your app. So if someone uploads an app, basically, their folder, they can always tell the AI to say, listen, I've uploaded this. Can you make sense of it? And it will even recommend that you convert your project, right? So if you had designed an app in HTML or a web page in HTML, it can then convert it to Node.js or a React app for you to be able to interact with the blockchain. So I think that's something that's going to be new to a lot of people is converting, if they have existing apps, converting them into a Node.js and a React format. But that's what the AI is there for. And then a lot of what you'll be doing is just debugging problems. So when you're building using an AI, all your problems will appear here in your terminal in the problems page. And all you do is you right click on them, copy them, and you paste every problem here in the AI, press enter, and then it will do the debugging and fix all your problems. So yeah, so you can even set it, right, to say, fix all my problems for the next 15 minutes, right? And it would automatically just keep coding, keep fixing coding until it runs, and you can tell it then deploy my app to Vessel, and it will do that. So it's pretty simple, it's pretty quick. But it just, it's all about repetition, all right? So the first time that people do it, it might feel a bit foreign, but they'll get the hang of it if they're already developers or they've been able to, create something in the past. So with that said, I think that's it in a nutshell. So there isn't much to, getting on the blockchain. You can build an app in a couple of hours, launch it into an app store. And then let me show you guys what Farcaster looks like, right? just
Sorry,
so
Google.
you,
Sorry to
yeah,
cut you short. Just to add
okay.
on what you were saying, um, I so there's going to be two methods in terms of like building like the apps, right? So if people are building from scratch, there's a particular method that they have to follow to incorporate like base documentation in comparison to if they already have like applications that they want to convert into mini apps. So there's two different ways of using the base documentation, and the only goodness is that base already has this set up for you. So if you go to base.org and you go to the mini kit, you're going to find a section that says new apps and existing apps. So if you have applications or you have websites that you already built, right, and you want to convert them and finish them off, you have to use the existing apps documentation. Because if you use the new app documentation on an already existing app, it's going to break your code. So that's just something that I thought I should add.
Definitely. And hopefully Lloyd will be live streaming in to give extra assistance. So yeah, but we'll have myself there, and we'll have another assistance from Bochabelo from Bloemfontein who'll be coming from the base team. So yeah, we're gonna give you guys all the support that we can. But like I was saying earlier, to start building on base, you just really need these lines of code. So the initial one is just to set up, scaffold a mini app. So it sets up the template and all that, right? And installs the dependencies on the next line. And then after you've done these two, you're like literally ready to start building, right? And like what Lloyd was saying, if you have an existing app, these documentation over here, existing apps, will also like show you how to convert your project into a mini app. So you start with this line of code, you enter it in your terminal, and you run it, and then after that, it kind of like prompts you, and then you just respond. So it's pretty basic. It's not that complicated. The complicated part is when you have to do what they call create a manifest. The manifest is like all your metadata for your app, right? Who's the publisher of the app? How is it categorized? Is it a social app? Is it a financial? Is it? So that's where there's a little more work and there's a little more like troubleshooting, but we'll be there for you, and we will share some, links to some resources, prior to that. And then, yeah, but I think on that day, we'll be there to fix a lot of problems. So a lot of it is just really problem solving, right? When the app is not responding and you have to debug and you have to figure out where the problem is, sometimes you have to repeat the steps that you've taken, but I'll be there to help anyone who needs that assistance. I think with that said, that kind of covers the generic aspect of how to vibe code. So what they mean by vibe coding is they mean you are using natural language. You're telling an AI system to say, hey, make me such and such an app, change this, change the UI, change the backend, what do you recommend? So you're talking to an AI like you are talking to a person, right? It understands natural language, even you don't even have to spell properly. It figures it out, right? So that's the beauty about this. It allows you to build quicker, and then the blockchain accelerates that to an existing audience that's willing to pay for your subscription, buy whatever you're selling on your app, right? So yeah, so I think that's it. So Misho, what's your thoughts on vibe coding and this intro and the nature of how you've been seeing the developers in some of your events? Is this something that they could be excited about using AI, or are they already using AI right now? Misho, over to you. Okay, you're on mute. If you can hear me, Misho, you're on mute, yeah?
Yeah, no, they're definitely already using AI, but I think it will be quite.
Over to you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. If you can hear me, Misho, you're on mute, yeah?
I have unmuted. Yeah,
Yeah, I can hear
definitely
you.
already using
Yeah, we
AI,
can hear you.
but I think it will be quite. Can you guys hear me?
Okay, there's a bit of, yeah, we can hear you. There's a bit of feedback in the back. Maybe another device is connected to the live stream. So in your area, in your background there. So I'm hearing
All
some
right. So
feedback.
I'd like to. Is it better now?
Yep.
This is perfect now.
Awesome. So yeah, I was saying that they are already using AI and a whole bunch of other different technology. So definitely looking forward to seeing what they come up with, or how they'll potentially integrate this in within their solutions. So yeah, definitely exciting times ahead. We'll definitely want to see what they build. And it's good to hear that, Lloyd, Google, and the rest of the team will be available to support, because that's always great and important, especially when people are introduced to new technology. It's always great to know that there's support for those platforms.
Wonderful.
Definitely. We're here for you
Derek, you
guys.
want to mention the prices? Because I think everyone is here, is waiting, is itching to hear about the pricing, the exciting prices that they could potentially earn. Do you want to tell them about that?
Well, we started with we started with the prizes for the hackathon. I did mention that we're going to be giving away 50K to various winners during the hackathon. However, for these events, we'll be giving. We have at least 17,000 rand to give away at each of the events. And given, for example, that tomorrow we expect maybe about 40 people, your chances of winning are pretty high. Simply come, build an app, deploy it on base, and then you stand a really high chance to actually win.
That sounds fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, I think we kind of covered. I think we touched on a lot of the basics. What base is all about, what Geekulca is up to, and the events. So this weekend it's Bochabelo in the Free State. Um, it's just outside of Bloemfontein, about 60 k's if I'm not mistaken. And then following weekend, I think it's Limpopo. And then the
Yep.
following weekend after that is going to be Gqeberha, which is formerly known as Port Elizabeth in the Eastern Cape, and base is going to be at all those events, right? And then
Yep.
hopefully after that we'll do another two, which will probably be focused more on two campuses, maybe in Johannesburg and in
Mhm.
Tshwane. So yeah, so we're excited on this journey, and I think it's just the beginning of a long partnership with Geek Culture, that can try and bring all young people, to ship apps on a blockchain without the limitations of like trying to sign up to an app store like an iOS store or an Android store. So that's the beauty about this is it allows them to from day one you ship your app to an existing revenue model, right? That is willing to buy. So that is where blockchain is that it decentralizes, it allows equal participation for everybody. And beyond that, Base as an organization supports anyone who is even creating content. So if you're out there, you're not a developer and you think, how can I get involved? You should be posting about this, retweeting all the stuff we're doing with Geek Culture, retweeting all the stuff we're doing, creating content, learning how to build, trying the AI, documenting your journey, posting videos, tagging Base and Base Southern Africa. And sooner or later, you will be rewarded. So there's a lot of people that are rewarded every week, every month on Base. And the rewards are very good for just simply doing what you already do, right? So, guys, follow our accounts, look out for us, and we'll constantly be rewarding people every month and bringing in more people into the community and extending those partnerships.
I'll touch a
Yeah.
little
So,
bit more on that. Like we trying to build a network, and for this network to work, we know that you can't go at it alone. You can't have a network that only has one person. So ideally, what we're trying to do is build a community of people who are going to help each other succeed. When you think, for example, of a developer, you've built an application, right? You need people to actually use that application, but half the time you're only focused on the code. How about work with a content creator who's going to help amplify what you're building such that you actually do what? You get the users to actually use this you get the users to actually use whatever you have built. In addition to that, when you think about still thinking about the network, we have Base as an ecosystem makes money of fees that are generated on chain, but we want to make sure that money is still circulating within the ecosystem. So we're not taking money out, we're actually using that money to actually empower people. We're using that money to fund businesses. We're using that money to support creators who actually come on this journey with us. Going back, it's a network. We know we can't go at it alone. We want to make sure that we have the right sorts of people who are in this particular network helping each other succeed. You're a developer, don't build alone in silo. You're a content creator. How about instead of an interesting example that's actually been going around is we just launched a Base app, and I think on a weekly basis, people are actually getting paid to actually post content on the Base app. Like, you simply think, for example, you making a tweet and getting paid to make that tweet. You getting paid because you've made a tweet, or you creating a TikTok video and getting paid because you created a TikTok video. That's exactly what's happening with the Base app. And on a weekly basis, we're seeing more and more creators getting rewarded because they are part of this network. So what we're building is something that's grand. It's something that we believe is going to stay forever. It's something that we believe actually, one other example that comes to mind, a lot of creators get deplatformed. So say, for example, you post something that YouTube is not very happy with, you could easily be kicked off the platform. But imagine you have you've spent years and years. Imagine you've spent years and years building, right? And then you have, let's say, maybe 1 million followers. Then you wake up overnight, those 1 million followers do not exist anymore. That's going to set you back a bit. In this world of decentralization, you own your follower account. You own the assets. Nobody's going to take them from you. So they go with you from platform to platform. Another example is, say, for example, you have like 10,000 followers. Or what happens today is you'll have your followers on X, then have the other followers on Twitter, and have the other followers on TikTok. Imagine a world where you can move with your followers to whichever platform you want to go to. That's sort of the future that we envision, in a world of decentralization, one where there's just so many opportunities and so many possibilities for builders and creators alike. So as you start this journey, as you come to build along with us on this particular journey, feel free to follow us on Base. Feel free to follow us on X. Our handle is Base Southern Africa. Ask as many questions as you can. We'll drop in a link for you to be able to sign up to be part of this network, such that we can be able to redefine the future of Africa, the Africa that we want to see together, and that we can be part of this network and edify each other. With that said, I think...
Thank you, Derek. We've got some questions. Sorry there, Derek. We've got some questions, yeah? Misho has got a question. Misho, what's your... We're running out of time, yeah? We've got 7 minutes left. But Misho, what's your question? And I think you have someone with a question.
I think I do see...
Just a quick one. Here's Bongani.
Right. So say we already have an app. It's deployed probably on Vessel or any of these hosting sites, or probably it's fully functional, and you want to integrate like a Base as with your application. What is the use case that you could use it for? For instance, since it's finished what you started, and then I just want to add additional features, but now basically I'm already hosting it. It's live in production. Where does Base come in there?
I think the easiest one, I'll give Google and Lloyd an opportunity to answer, but the easiest one is going to be payments. Say, I do believe that whatever this application is, it probably has some bit of, maybe you want to be able to receive payments or something like that. How about you add a feature where people can be able to pay you on the base network? People can be able to, and the beauty of this is anybody anywhere can be able to pay for this service without having to think, for example, about integrating with Visa, creating an account somewhere, etc. So I do believe that would be like one really easy one. The second one is authentication. We are very used to using Google authentication. You could authenticate with Base as well. That makes it much easier for people to sign in. If they have the app on their phones, they can easily authenticate and use your applications. Use your application. Any other features, Google Lloyd?
I think you
Yes.
kind of covered the
So
gist of it. Yeah. Lloyd, over to
yeah,
you.
no, Derek has covered most of them, but you can also add features like, for instance, when you do incorporate base blockchain into like your application, right? You also get access to like a huge network on the base blockchain and people who use like blockchain technology, right? So that's also like an added plus for your app. So you get more users faster and easier just by having your app as like a mini app in the base app or in Farcaster. Another thing is you can also incorporate like smart contracts into your application to give it more blockchain specific features, right? Like you can be able to incorporate things like zero knowledge, which, let your users verify, like what Derek said on authentication, that they are real without really giving away like private information, right? So there's a lot of features that you can definitely add into your app, and the base documentation has most of these features that you can easily incorporate. Yeah.
Thank you, Lloyd. Then I think it's important to point out as well that there's no gatekeeping, right? So if you have an existing app and you want distribution, right, you might want, if it's an Android app, then you want the Android store to authorize your app for you to be able to, to distribute it there, and you have to meet a certain criteria. So same with these Apple apps, iOS apps, you have to meet a certain criteria. And sometimes if you have revenue within the app, you have to give up 30% to Apple, right? But with this platform, the base blockchain, you don't need to give up any of that, and you don't need authorization. So on day one, your app is live to an audience, a global audience of consumers that are already using the app, right? So it's distribution in terms of getting users from day one, and it's no gatekeeping. So going live from day one. And smart contract, like Lloyd mentioned, automation, which allows you to automate a lot of functions. Derek mentioned you don't need Visa, you use Base Pay, so there's no middleman. Base Pay is an enabler, and Base Pay is available across all of Shopify. So if anyone has e-commerce, sometimes you have to use like Paygate or all those payment, middlemen or aggregators or whatever. Yeah, so you don't need those kind of like, people to collect your funds and then give you a certain amount per week or per day with a lockup fee. You collect from your customers from day one. So yeah, those are some of the basic benefits. Are there any other questions?
Just a sec. I think we should have led up by understanding like what application it is that you're building. But one other would be like a wallet feature. Let's say you want users to be able to keep money in the application. Say it's a betting app, for example. You want people to be able to keep their money in the application. Like there's various ways to do it. You probably can have a database that you would link somewhere else, but you could also use the base app. Like it makes work way much easier. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Google, next question.
So I see we've got a question from Tori So saying, can winners from previous years participate and improve on projects that made them win in the previous hackathon?
Totally.
So
Yeah.
uh, yeah, and also I just wanted to point out that keep in mind that this doesn't, what we're trying to do with Base is we're bringing in tools. We're not taking away from the existing structure of the Geekulca hackathon. We're here to accentuate it with tools, with distribution, with finding an audience. So I would say as a priority, we stick to the Geekulca rules of the competition, right? And as an addition to that, we provide you with tools to accentuate that. So when you do use those tools, then you participate in this hackathon. And yes, it's going to be fair because it's measured on how you can ship your app onto the app store, which is the Farcaster store, right? So those who are within the Geekulca hackathons who will choose to participate within the space integration, everyone will be, it will be based on, you know, whether you've set the certain milestones, right? Which is ultimately being able to integrate the base tools and being able to ship your app into the Farcaster store. So that's really the criteria. And that's where a lot of the technical stuff comes in, right? So those who are able to complete it, there will be some that they will be judged on based on that, right? Okay. Is there anything else? We're on the top of the hour. Maybe we can give another a minute or two. Is there anything else that we need to cover? Any more questions? Or anything from your side, Michelle? Any more questions from your guys?
No, I think we covered from our side. Definitely looking forward to the weekend to seeing how the implementation goes about.
Yeah. Wonderful. And I think we'll have these calls every week, right? Same time next week as we prepare for the Limpopo one, and then the following week when we prepare for the Eastern Cape one. And I think in between, if anyone wants to, you know, reach out to us, you can follow our X account, which is based Southern AF. So it's short for Based Southern Africa, AF at the end. And then myself is GWESS, Gwes, at Gwes. Also follow Geek Culture, and we will post links because we have like weekly office hours every Tuesday and Thursday between 1 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. We have something called office hours where we can interact with you one-on-one. You can share your screen. We can like literally help you build your apps, help you integrate your apps, right? So it's 1.5 hours every Tuesday and Thursdays. But we also have live spaces every so you choose every Wednesday evening and Friday evening as well, where we show people how to build these apps. So if you follow us and you reach out to us, we also post our links on how you can reach us. We post forms on that you can fill in for us to reach out to you. We'll be able to help you on one-on-ones or in a more direct sort of build session. Okay. I think we're top of the hour. Anything from your side before we exit?
No, that'll be it.
Derek?
Let's keep building and look forward to seeing you guys at the hackathon this weekend. Have a nice
Okay.
day.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Misho, your parting shots, your farewells. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, no, thanks for this. It was a good start. Hopefully more of these interactions and learning. But yeah, good night to everyone, and
Yeah.
see those we'll see on Saturday.
Yeah, wonderful. Very large turnout, 377 people across all our channels. So everyone is definitely looking forward to this Geek Culture hackathon. So yeah, we'll see you guys at the hackathons. Have a good evening. Thank you. Thank you,
Cheers.
Lloyd,
Have
as
a
well.
great day,
And
everyone.
thank you, Derek. Thank you, Misho.